everybody. Welcome to our first episode of the On the Runs podcast.
I'm Eric.
I'm Erika.
I'm Shauna.
And I'm Katie.
Katie is our lovely producer, and she will be doing some amazing work helping us produce this podcast, edit, add in music, and make us sound good. So let's go.
So we kind of decided to start this because we knew each other for a long time from college. Eric and Erika and I all went to college together, and then we met Katie through some other friends, and now we all run together. We started running in the mornings and then getting breakfast, and we kind of started out with like the breakfast club, and then Eric had this great idea.
Start a podcast.
Why not, right?
It's easy. As you can tell, we're just rolling with it. We started this run group of ours, and we've been going solid for 3 years. We all have our own events and races and we need training buddies. And it just kind of started clicking and working, and during our runs, we don't stop talking. So we why don't we put it on?
It depends on the hill that we're on, sometimes there's
Sure.
less talking.
Correction, I do a lot of listening.
Yeah.
And I maybe do most of the talking.
But hey, we still have fun while we do it.
Anyways, welcome to episode 1. We're happy to have you here, and we're going to get started.
Every good run needs a warm-up. And so for our warm-up, we're going to give you a little bit of background information about our running history. Erika, why don't you start us off?
Sure thing.
Or why don't I want to pause Erika here because Erika is going to be our featured athlete in what we call the HIIT. So let's save what Erika's going to talk about.
All right, let it roll, guys.
And let's just go with you, Shauna.
Okay.
Who you are and tell us what you do. I don't know.
Okay, so I'm Shauna, and I mostly run to hang out with everybody, and because Erika makes me sign up for marathons. There's been 3 marathons now that I have been peer pressured into signing up for and training for, because once you sign up, you've got to actually train. But yeah, so I've been running since I was 9, just as a average go-get-'em kind of runner, and lots of races between there and now.
That's a good kind of peer pressure, though.
I know. It's positive.
I'm
peer
sorry,
pressure.
not sorry.
I am very much a recreational runner. I do 5Ks and half marathons. I'm not breaking any records, but I'm trying to do a half marathon in every state over the course of my life. I'm in no rush to finish.
How many have you done so far?
So far, I think I'm at 13 or 14.
Awesome.
COVID has kind of put a damper on a few of them, but getting back into it.
And I'm Eric, and the girls here usually call me Newt, so you might hear that many times and be like, who's Newt? But only a few friends from college still call me that. These are 2 of them. I was not the avid runner that Erika is, or Shauna, but I always considered myself just an athlete who is up for any challenge. So in the last 5 years, I've gotten into triathlons, and part of my triathlon training, I needed to start running more, and Erika and Shauna started dragging me on their runs on Sunday mornings, and then we would show up to Dan and Katie's house for breakfast, and we became the Breakfast Club. So that's a little on us. We're going to save Erika for later.
I feel so special.
And we just want to say that what we want for this pod is we just want to have fun. We're going to share stories. We're going to have friends of ours come on and share their stories because we have some good ones. And we named this podcast On the Runs because everyone has one of those kind of stories to share. We hope you enjoy.
So are we ready to move into the HIIT portion of our pod?
We're going to call it the high intensity interview, and we're still figuring out what the T is going to stand for right now. We went with talk or maybe tactics. We'll come up with something great. But Erika, congratulations. You're our first HIIT interview.
Wow, what an honor, you guys.
All right, Erika. So this is a little more the bio of getting to know us. Let's start. I have the notes, and I'm not going to throw it across the table, so I'll just start here. What was your first race, and what got you into running?
All right. I pretty much used running as an excuse to get some exercise. In college, I was not the most, I was rather sedentary. Friends of ours would go play dodgeball, and while others were upstairs watching
Monday Night Fun Club.
we're up on the treadmills watching. I was sitting and drinking beverages, if you will.
Yeah. Sleeping.
So it all started in 2009. I was training to run my first race, which is one of my hometown races, and it happened to fall on my birthday, so it was like the perfect excuse, just a short 5.2 miler. And so that was how it all got started. And now I'm doing marathons. I'm part of the Marathon Maniacs. I'm currently 4 races into the World Marathon Majors, and I'm trying to do a marathon in all the 50 states.
How many states?
I have about 13, so I'm working on that. But again, COVID. But I kind of like the fact that when I tell people all this stuff, that they give me that "you're crazy" look, and kind of fuels me.
So wait, you never ran in college?
No, I did not.
Did we mention we all went to college together?
I think we did.
I think
at one point.
You weren't a runner in college. Shauna, were you?
I mean, I played softball, so I had to run
You were
for training
sports,
for that. So.
And I would try to work out. I was always focused on trying to work out and stay in shape. Running, I didn't enjoy as much then. But so you never ran in college.
I never ran in college.
Never in high school.
I used to play soccer, so I was a midfielder. So that got the most running out of it, like just. Back
But
and
you
forth
never
up
got
and
the
down.
running bug until after college.
And
2009?
honestly, yeah, 2000.
So right
That
after
was your
we
first
graduated.
race, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what made you do that?
I mean, I was feeling lazy.
All right.
I needed some kind of
Graduated
motivation.
college, had nothing to do, and just like, gonna run.
Yep. I hadn't found a job in my field yet, so I just had time. So just an excuse to get out the door and do something active.
Maybe your future job field's gonna be a podcast superstar.
We'll see. Let me get some sponsors there. How about that? Some
How
running
about just
sponsors.
some free goose?
So how many races have you run total now?
So let's see.
You keep track?
I do actually. I have a Google Doc. I put where they were run, what races they were, my time. So I have like a spreadsheet about all that. But I've run, including virtual ones, because of last year. I've done at least 120. I'm way up there.
Wow.
So like last year alone, I didn't have any in-person races besides a half marathon back in March. I ran a total of 7 marathons, 1 in April, and then I did the remaining 6 of them within like a 6-week period. So that's where the crazy comes in.
You're intense. You do, like, you were going to do last year. So when COVID started, everything got canceled.
Everything, yep.
And you were going to do, you had London, Berlin, and Japan for the year, right?
Japan was supposed to be this year, but that got canceled too. But
you
yeah, I had Chicago on deck. I had
That's right. So you had a bunch of
New York
marathons
City.
on deck, and all their makeup dates were pushed to the fall.
Yep.
Which eventually got canceled. But you were gonna do like 5 races in 6 weeks for the marathons, right?
Yep.
And you're just gonna do it.
I did them anyways. Yep.
Well, you still did them.
I
That's
did
right.
them virtually.
You did them virtually.
You guys were there riding bikes next to me, doing laps.
You just go. Nothing stops you. It's like, yeah, I got... So this year it was going to be until Japan just got canceled, right?
Yep. Japan decided to just be domestic
Japan.
only. Yep.
So you were going to do 3 and 4 weeks again, right?
Yeah.
Including
Actually,
traveling across
In
the
3 different
world.
countries.
Yeah, I was gonna do go to Germany for Berlin, fly directly the weekend after London, and then there was a 2-week span before Tokyo. But actually, I didn't tell you guys this yet. I am deferring Berlin this year because I think they still have
Breaking news. Breaking news. Sound alert.
I think they still have quarantine protocols, and I don't have a lot of vacation time.
All right. So you're deferring Berlin.
Yep, so it's just London, and then if New York City still happens, I'm going to New York City for the marathon there again.
And I'm still going to try to get you to join my Reach the Beach team.
I might have time now that Berlin got deferred. So.
Even better. All right.
So that's that.
So that's basically your fall. What's coming up is you got you got no Berlin, no Japan, but you got London.
I got London. I'm actually doing virtual Boston too. I signed up for that back in when they were opening that up. So
you
do another virtual race.
Do you have like a notification that tells you when a race pops up within a 500-mile radius?
No, but that would actually be kind of helpful.
Because you always have so many races on your schedule, and you're thinking I think sometimes 18 months ahead.
Yeah, you got it.
And I'm like, okay, just ran the new Boston half marathon. When we do that in May?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the next day I'm looking for what race I'm going to do in a few months.
See, that's how you keep motivated. Well, at least how I keep motivated. You just got to have something on the calendar.
Well, you also sign up for races the day of, so
Yeah.
and show up and then win your age group. Those are always good days.
That was who?
That was you. Didn't you show up for that 10 miler?
Oh, that's right.
Day of, signed up, raced
That's right.
it.
I signed up the night before. What one was that? That was total.
The
You were at a
TI.
wedding,
Yeah.
weren't you?
Yeah.
What?
When you were at a wedding.
Oh, that was. Oh, you're right.
Okay.
You're
We'll have
very
to
right.
wait, though. Put
So-
this on hold.
Yeah.
It's not the Eric show.
But I will say
That's
I got
next year. Next
third.
week.
I got third, and only because it was a small race. And you're right. So I've had 2 amazing races that I think I did really well, where I was unprepared and signed up the night before. 1, eating a whole pizza, and 2, I had 6 beers. It was in a hot tub till 1 in the morning in Lake Placid. It was like I left the party early. Said I think I'm going to go run a half marathon tomorrow, and I PR'd that race.
Very nice.
It was also, I think, only my 3rd half marathon. But
Beer is good for carbs, though.
yeah.
You got to admit.
All right. So we got a few questions.
More questions. Okay.
Yeah, we got questions for Erika here. Favorite fuels?
Oh, okay. Fuel. Besides like the morning bagel with peanut butter, let's see. I actually swear by this stuff. It's by Scratch Labs. It's called Super Fuel, and I have trouble taking in fuel on my long runs, like eating actual like gels and goos and stuff. So that's just a super.
They make you go on the runs?
Yes, and I try to avoid that, even though it's good content. But it's just a super concentrated sports drink that gives you the carbs and the sugars and stuff that you need to keep you going. So it's cut down on that a lot. But yeah, I usually, if it's like before a race, I'll eat like a nice sandwich to try to avoid heartburn from pasta.
What about like a 7 a.m. race?
7 a.m.
You eating like a
No, that's like the night
ham and
before.
cheese at 6 in the morning?
No, that's my bagel and peanut butter.
Okay.
But the afterwards, though, that's when you get the beer and the pizza and the yummy food. Make it worth all the hard work you just put in.
And I would say none of us are shy from eating the unhealthy foods after a race.
No. That's one thing I need to work on is my nutrition. But hey, maybe we can make that a segment.
I think I do. We all need
Right?
to.
All right, so besides fuel, what's the number one gadget or tool something that you've bought to help your running?
So I have caved and I have bought quite a few little gadgets here and there. One of them I actually blame Eric for are my Normatec boots.
Yeah.
Those are the compression boots that help flush the lactic acid out of your legs. Those are, you pop them on, they look ridiculous, but they're the most like relaxing thing to just sit and watch TV, and they give you a nice squeeze. I guess.
I did my sunrise ascent yesterday, and
Congratulations. by the way.
I'll mention that at the end, but I will just say I brought the boots, and I'm with my friend Jay and his girlfriend, and he's telling his girlfriend it's her first time. This is a tough hike. This is tough. I don't know if you can do it. And I took the boots out as I'm showing him. I go, put these on. Your leg's going to feel great tomorrow, and you'll do just fine. Don't worry about anything he says. You can do this if you put on the Normatec boots.
Honestly.
And she kicked butt.
Yep.
I love my boots.
That's got to be like my favorite thing that I have purchased. They're quite pricey, but
it was my first quarantine purchase.
Mm-hmm.
First day stuck in quarantine, I said, this sucks, and I bought it. It took me like 3 hours to pull the trigger, but I did it.
Very nice. But yeah, those are super great.
I got a question, and I think I know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
But what was one of your crappiest race experiences, or a race where you really bonked on, or that just nothing went right? Tell me hardest. I wouldn't say hardest race, but just where everything went wrong.
All right, I think I got something for you. So, Shauna actually may be able to chime in on this as well. 2019, Revel Mount Hood. If you are not familiar with Revel races, they are pretty much entirely downhill with quite a steep grade. So
easy?
I mean,
downhill, it's got to be easy.
If you train on the downhills, yes, it would be easy.
You're expected to get a personal best at these.
Yeah. They pretty much can can claim
It's
that.
a guarantee.
So I went into that particular race. I had been training really well, albeit not on hills, which I should have been doing.
Yeah.
But I developed a stress fracture in my tibia, and it got really bad towards race time. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wing it. I'm going to do it anyways. I already booked the tickets out there. We're going to have a blast. And
didn't you take
Yeah.
Shauna just so you could stay at her uncle's?
Well, I wanted to visit family, and then
She offered.
she convinced me that this was why we travel, was to do marathons, and I guess I thought that was a good idea.
So
Till about mile 6.
going into it, just the stress of the road and the length. I mean, a marathon, that's a lot of stress on your body anyways. And I just had such an incredible pain in my left leg, which is the one with the stress fracture. And because I was favoring my right leg. So I had the worst calf cramp on my right leg. So I was looking ridiculous trying to go through the airport the next day and hobbling around. I've never been in so much pain in my life.
Yeah, that would probably be my worst race ever, because that was the first race I ever walked in, I think. Disclaimer, I did trip and fall on the solid downhill at mile 6 of the 26.2 and skinned both knees, both elbows, and both hands. So I did even contemplate,
we need pictures for the gram.
stopping the race, stopping at points, but
I'll see what I can do.
I technically did still beat my time, but that was my least favorite race ever.
Wait, so that was your PR?
That was my PR at the time, yes.
And out of how many marathons do you think?
That was my second.
Okay, so
I've only done 3.
And the first was Manchester.
The first was Manchester,
Right. Yeah,
second was
it's kind of the
Mount Hood.
opposite of going downhill.
Yeah, it was very hilly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways.
Other than that,
What's your-
did average.
Yeah, what's your favorite race?
Well,
So we're talking about all the horror.
I want to mention one other thing. I think I know one of her other least favorites she did with me. It wasn't a marathon. It was a Tough Mudder.
Oh my
and
god.
You hated it. Is that the only one you ever done?
I had done 2. I did the second one I did with you guys.
So,
I
yeah.
will never do it again. The whole time going up that mountain, I was like, I would run this 10 times over. So I will stick
Mount
to
Snow,
running.
Vermont, right?
That was Mount Snow, Vermont, yes. I will stick to running because I know what I'm good at. And upper body strength is not one of my actual strengths. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. I remember Shauna and I just eventually were like, see you guys later. We're going to keep going.
Yep. Thank God for your friend, though. He stayed with me the whole time.
Jay,
Yep.
right?
No, Superman.
Oh,
Corey?
Corey.
Yep. He
Yeah.
was great. Corey was
Yeah.
great. So, yeah, that was that's a never again for me.
Awesome. That's a great hit. We'll have more and hopefully bring on others. So now we're going to do the rundown.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. So we just did a race. We're a week late for recording this from when we wanted to because some of us have kids who have cheerleading and got in the way. I'm not going to mention any names. No names, but we just did the Brewery Chase Relay.
Mm-hmm.
First one for Millennium Running in Manchester. Well, technically it was Londonderry.
Londonderry, Manchester. Yeah, I went
Yeah.
all over.
We hopped from brewery to brewery. We had 6 of us. We all jumped in our brand new on the runs minivan.
The official car
The official
of the pod.
the official car of the podcast. 2021 Toyota Sienna. 36 miles per gallon, and it's sweet. Sits 8 people. It is great. I did not purchase this for kids. I bought it for the podcast.
I think they believe you. Okay, let's go.
So we did the relay, 6 of us. So it was the 4 of us, Katie, Shauna, Erika, and we needed 2 more people. So we got Ashley Tyler, who is my fiance and the mother of my 3 kids. One happens to be a brand new cheerleader. And then we got Dan Fornash, who is Katie's very tall husband. And he runs super fast and takes 2 steps per mile because of how tall he is. I don't know. Running's easy. I feel like running's easy for him. He's so tall.
He did
I
great.
think he would disagree, but
He did a good job.
So, what do we think of the run? What do we think of the race?
I had an absolute blast.
I thought it was great.
We did have fun. I think the fun factor was that we were really together.
Yeah.
Shauna had the first leg. You were coming off an injury.
Yep.
And you're kind of still on an injury.
Yep.
But you were like, I'll do some power walking, some walk runs, and you took the shortest leg?
Yeah, I took the 2.5 miles. I hadn't really run much all of June or July because I had a back injury, but I'd been starting to get back into slow jogging. But then, a little competitive nature, and I ended up not walking at all and, ran it in sub-10s, which was pretty impressive, I thought. I was pretty excited about it. And I didn't wake up, crying the next day. So it was overall a success
Always
for
a good
me.
thing.
And then you had the rest of the day to just watch us suffer.
And it was not 900 degrees when I ran.
Must be nice.
Ooh,
First thing in the morning.
80. Dan had the second leg. Another, 2.5
I
miles?
think he had like
he
two
had
somewhere around.
three.
Yeah,
three maybe?
he beat what he thought he would do too. Funniest thing he told me though was that, I saw all the people from 7 o'clock. They were passing me coming back, and I'm like, no, I saw no one coming back on my leg. He goes, yeah, they were, and I go, wait, no, Dan, that was just a third heat. That was my heat. I went down the same road as you, and we went back and forth, and we're getting confused. But Dan did the second leg. I did the third, which was 6.5 miles. And I have also slightly been coming off an injury. But I don't even think it's an injury, just my leg's been a little sore. And I took a few weeks off, and I was happy. I did 6.5 miles at like an 8:40.
Mhm.
And I was pretty thrilled.
Killed it.
Yeah, I did the... so exciting. I got to run in a new place, and I ran before the Londonderry Rail Trail.
Like we haven't run there before.
If you look at my Strava heat maps, it is like white hot. White hot right there. Just run that trail all the time. I did see, help me out with his name, the guy who owns Millennium. Does he own it?
John Mortimer?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I saw him twice, right? So I'm at the end of the trail, call it mile 5, and I'm at the end of the paved part of the Londonderry Rail Trail, running to the woods, and there he is. And I gave him a fist bump as I ran by and go, hey, awesome job, great race. Well, now I'm running about 3/4 of a mile from the beginning of the dirt to the end of the dirt, and there he is. I'm like, holy cow, you're fast. I didn't see you pass me. I mean, he had a car, but go by again. He gave me a big high five. He goes, you're killing it, man. I was like, yeah. And I wanted, maybe he'll hear this or see our Instagram someday and be like, that was the guy who said great job, and maybe he'll follow us.
Honestly, that's one of the best parts about the Millennium Races is that he just cares so much. Like, he is honestly pumped for us. Like, he wants to see us succeed.
Remember the time not that long ago when you saw him and he walked by and you wanted to say hi?
Hey, I've given him a fist bump before. We're good.
And you walked by and something I'm going to do a lot on this podcast is I'm going to freeze.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it happened. Celebrity status.
Yeah. So I had that leg, and it was fine. I was in the shade a lot, which was really nice. So, Katie, you want to talk about leg 4 then?
Yeah, lovely leg 4. I had leg 4. There was some shade. Not a lot of it, and it was pretty hot. It was around 12:30, maybe 1 o'clock. I did not break any records. Like I said, I'm not out there to break records. There was a lot of walking, but I finished it, and I'm alive to talk about it.
And then
I think you have a lot more.
I had a delicious beer from Rockingham Brewery.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
You finished at 6:03. I thought you got one there.
you had to rush over to.
They got
That's
one
right.
Before my
Ashley
leg.
was super speedy.
Because
She
Ashley
actually
was
took off at a
killing
sprint.
it. So Ashley just had, she just delivered twins 5 months ago. 5 months to almost the date of this event. And it was her first event since, and she crushed it. Yeah. Better than I thought she would do. She only was running for 3 weeks before this. Her and I would run at work during lunch in the middle of the heat, no shade. So I guess, that got her a little prepared for the heat. And
I don't think you could have trained better for that. That's what we were dealing with.
She would tell me, I'd be like, all right, we'll just run. We'll run easy around the parking lot. And she'd go, no, we got to do pickup stay intervals. And then one day it's like super hot. She goes, we got to go to Bradford Street or Road in Nashua. We're doing hill sprints. I'm like, what? She goes, we need to do them. And she when she gets her mindset on something, she's determined. And so I wanted her to do the second leg. And I told Katie, could you switch with Dan? Could you have Dan switch with her? And eventually Dan's like, yeah, I'll switch. I told Ashley, she was like, nope, I've already mapped it out. I know where the hills are. I need to. Nope. Don't mess with me. I need to do my legs.
Atta girl. Atta girl.
I think it was 3.8 miles, and I was like, was it 3.8? I'm getting a look from Katie. Like,
No, I
I
think
think
she
it was
was.
3.
I think she was just 3.
was it
3,
3?
but it was hilly.
It was longer than the first 2 though, and it was hilly, and I was like, oh, she's gonna struggle. Not that I wanted her to. I just felt like it's your first race. It's gonna be hot, and she crushed it so much. Where Erika goes to me because you're next. Hey, how much time do I have? Looked at my watch. I got 4. I say 4 minutes. 4 seconds later, here she comes flying through the transition area.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, oh crap, Erika, you're up.
I just barely made it to that start line, so good thing we were there in time. But yeah, so I was the ringer, I guess you could say. Captain Marathon over here decided to take the longest leg, which was around 8 miles.
Not only that, you're our strongest runner right now.
I
And
gotta thank the Bex Gentry and the Peloton
Bex.
community.
Team Bex.
Oh, man.
We both changed. Shauna too. At one point, Shauna was kicking our butts. When I started running, Shauna and I would train for those Tough Mudders, and you would take me for a 6-mile run. I think I'd be dead at the end.
Yeah, that was back before you were a runner and you're like trying to push the pace, and I was like, okay.
But right now, I would say you are our top runner, and you are by far stronger than us.
Quarantine has actually been okay to me. I've been pretty consistent with my running, so I have like a 400-day run streak going for at least a mile a day, so that definitely has helped. But yeah, so this final leg, 8 miles, I was running the reverse of pretty much what Eric ran on the rail trail, so there was a good amount of shade.
So brand new trail.
Yeah, brand new trail. It was pretty much in the shade until we hit 28, and then it was all pretty much uphill from there.
And then you got all my hills.
Yep, I got to run the reverse of Shauna's as well, and I mean, it was really hot, but I stuck to a good, like around an 8.5 minute pace average. So glad I could bring it in for the team. So, I mean, besides it being, it was a gorgeous day. It was just a little too hot for my taste, running wise.
I think it was the first day of no rain in the state for the month of July.
I believe it.
It's only rained twice this summer. Once for 32 days and once for 38 days.
But yeah, so what did we think about this race overall? Are we going to do it again next year, guys?
Well, are they going to have it again? I hope they do.
I certainly hope so.
They seemed to think that they were going to try to have it again.
I think I like how I guess I realized after why they had to do this, but everyone went out in groups of 10 minutes apart. Mm-hmm. So there would be, how many do you think when you started there was maybe 15 of you?
I think, 15, 20.
Right? So maybe
there
was 200 teams that signed up, but we started at what, 10:40, 9:40? And there's say 15 of you, and then 15 more would start at 9:50, 15 more at 10. My friend Mike and his girlfriend Sarah were in the 10, I think, and they beat us.
Yeah, I will say it was entertaining to see the teams that started at 11 that still beat us.
Yeah, I think what it missed a little was like the party scene at the end, because you're not finishing with all the other 200 teams. You're just finishing with your 15. So it was much, even though we had to park like a mile away, it didn't feel like a big party at the end where everyone's kind of, all the runners are getting together. I felt like it missed that, unlike, say, Signa Elliott 5K, when everyone finishes and everyone's hanging out in that park, and you got, how many people at that race? 500?
I think
More?
I think that's just the downfall, was that they don't have a big enough space for people, because they had only the parking lot for the cars, and there were a lot of cars.
For every brewery.
Yeah. So.
And that's why they had to do it, but that was just, one of the things I took from it was, like, I really thought we were going to, like, remember we decided we went to 603, right? And we still had fun. Mm-hmm. We still had a fun post-race. And Tommy and Tyler did too. So I thought it was great. I hope they do it again. I hope we do more of those.
I'm going to drag you guys into everything I can, so let's go.
It was the baby version of the practice session for Reach the Beach.
So,
that's right.
Yeah. So speaking of dragging us places, let's talk about what's on deck for Erika, Miss Runner over here, the all-star of our group.
All right. So next week I got a doozy coming up, I guess you could say. I am doing what is called the Anchor Down Ultra. I am doing a 12-hour ultra marathon down in Rhode Island.
That's easy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cake, right?
7 to 7, 8 to 8. That's easy. In the day.
Yes. It's not bad because it starts at 7 p.m. But, yeah, I'm dragging the crew down.
Night.
And we're going to hopefully get some good content for you guys. But I'm just going to push myself, see what I can do, and take you guys along for the ride.
It's your first ultra or your first one of this?
So this is my first, well, yeah, I mean, you can call it my first ultra. I did a virtual ultra last year. I did the Marine Corps 50K, but that was just doing loops around Livingston Park. So this is my first one that actually counts for something.
So it's going to be down in Mass.
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Yes.
And
yes.
we're all going to go down in the On the
In
Runs
On the Runs
minivan.
vehicle. Uh-huh.
We're
Yeah.
going to set up a base camp. You're doing loops, right?
Yep.
Do you know how long they are?
They're 2.45 miles.
So we'll
each.
see you quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So you guys will hang out at base camp,
We're
check
gonna
on
be
me every
your-
once in a while, make sure I'm not...
We're going to be your Sherpas or your
Dying.
Pit crew.
support crew, pit
Yeah.
crew. My buddy Scott in Ironmans calls me a Sherpa. So I think of Sherpa.
Hey, you guys can call yourselves whatever you want, but I'm glad that I'll have you guys there.
That will be fun. That will be fun to do. Doing this will be more fun going, getting to go to other events now and seeing them.
Yeah.
Where before it was kind of like, Erika's doing a marathon in Nashville, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Great. And we kind of just follow you through Instagram.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know if we'll be traveling far, but, this will be cool. Like, Rhode Island is like, I can go, hey, Ashley, I'm going to leave you and the 3 kids to go watch Erika race.
Ashley, you're a saint.
Yes. I'm so lucky. But yeah, like, that's going to be fun. Doing this, it's kind of a built-in excuse to go see your race, go see Shauna's, future races. Maybe when Katie rocks another rock and roll half marathon, where's the next one? Let's say California. Let's go to California.
Friend trip.
Right?
So you've got some stuff
Business
on deck
expense.
too. Yeah, well, yeah, but you've got some good stuff on deck too.
I do. It's not running, but so as I'm into all sports, I have this weekend the 24 Hours of Great Glen. It's a 24-hour mountain bike race, relay style. It's just me and a bunch of friends. We've done a few before. I've done 4, and we used to be like super competitive, and it's a guys trip. We want to, we signed up for this 2 years ago.
Oh wow!
And it's finally happening because of COVID. But 24-hour mountain bike race. It's going to be fun. Hopefully my bike survives and I survive and I don't get hurt, because what I really got coming up is a half Ironman on the 22nd, and I've just done basic training. I followed no plan. I try to run, bike, and I was about to say sleep. Yeah, I try to sleep when I can. Run, bike, and swim when I can, and I know I can finish it. I won't be breaking any records, but it was just with 2 newborn twins at home, I needed something to stay on track, and so that's what this race is. It's a stay-on-track event, Ironman Timberman in Laconia. I don't have to travel the family to Canada for it or anything, so that's coming up for me. I'll talk about it after. And the bike race.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Getting back into things. I'm really happy that the world is starting to open up, but
Is it?
Hopefully it'll stay that way.
Fingers crossed.
Right?
Awesome. Cool.
Well, guys, I think we did it.
Yeah, I hope we didn't go too long. We're at 33 minutes here, so we'll start the cool down. We want what do we want to tell everyone?
Well, we want to bring everybody to our Instagram page, don't we? So you can check out our feats not our actual feat, but our feats of accomplishment.
And we'll share things like maybe Shauna's bloody knees,
Yeah.
maybe the giraffe. We'll put out that will get much more content than the podcast will, as we hope to do this before and after big events. Maybe put out 2 a month. We're under no pressure. If things get in the way, like cheerleading practice, guys.
Priorities get in the way.
Priorities.
Yeah.
Cheering is life.
Yeah, follow our Instagram page. We are at On The Runs. You can also follow me at newt.eric.
You can follow me at ehamshazam. You can sound that out.
And you can follow me at 603KT.
And if you want to see Shauna, just look up hashtag no Insta Shauna.
Yeah, I don't have Instagram.
No
We'll-
Insta.
we'll-
No Instagram.
We'll get her on
We'll get her someday.
someday.
Maybe.
Maybe what would be the for instance, everyone wanted Dale Earnhardt Jr. to go on Twitter, and he wouldn't. And he says, "I'll do it if I win the Daytona 500." Wins the Daytona 500, goes on Twitter. What will it take for you? Will it take
Let me think about that before I throw out some answers.
maybe X amount of followers,
Mm-hmm.
maybe podcast hits, somewhat episode.
Yeah, maybe if we reach a certain episode like amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Closing remarks? I got none.
Don't forget to stretch.
That's very
Stretching
important.
is key.
Yeah, you two did your stretching before this pod. I'm glad.
We did.
And we're going to stretch after.
And I also want to say we care about what you think. So if you have any questions or comments for us, we also have an email that you can, like an email address you can send questions to. So
That's right. It is ontherunspod@gmail, right?
That's it.
Yeah, we had to do on the runs pod. So our Instagram is on the runs, and our email is ontherunspod@gmail.com.
all right, thank you guys for listening.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.
Bye.